Welcome to Super Mario Odyssey, everybody. I'm Honest Steven. Thanks for joining me. A little later than I intended to get a video for this up because I had some recording issues, but I think I have it all squared away now. Shouldn't have any more problems for the foreseeable future. Little tip from me now. I did not realize this, but I believe it is due to the latest firmware update for the Nintendo Switch. But apparently plugging in a USB headset directly into the Switch's dock causes the system to no longer output audio through the HDMI cable at all. So I tried to record my first session, went to edit it together, and I tested repeatedly to make sure there were no issues. Went ahead to edit it and found out I had no game audio whatsoever. And the reason I didn't catch this at first was while I'm running tests, I don't wear my headset because I don't need to. I need to hear the computer and stuff. But once I started actually recording my commentary, I have my headset on. My TV's volume's already off and everything, so just didn't think about it being a problem. But yeah, so keep that in mind if you have any circumstances that would lead you to needing to know that. Anyway, this is Super Mario Odyssey. You've probably seen a bunch of it by now because Nintendo really pushed it hard with good reasoning. It's very solid Super Mario title. Feels more akin to Super Mario 64 than something like Super Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Galaxy is what I meant. The only real difference is Super Mario 64 was prone to you get a star, kicks you out of the stage, jump back in a stage. Map might change a tiny bit depending on what star you choose to go after. This, just get a moon, keep on trucking. Otherwise, you have the same move set: triple jump, long jump, ground pound. You have dive. You can spin. The new stuff is based around Cappy. I swear, I've said this in my first recording with this that I had to get rid of, but I do. I actively prepare for my commentary. I drink water. I make sure I'm not really like eating anything that would affect my vocal cords and stuff, but every time, as soon as I sit down, put a mic in front of my face, my throat gets all gummed up and I sound hoarse and I gotta cough all the time. I don't know. I apologize for that. I know it's not something you want to hear. But yeah, so Cappy's the new thing in this game, and his main thing is that he's a projectile. But you can also do a bunch of other tricks, like bounce off of him. You can do there we go. You can do spin attacks. You can there's a way to throw him up, but you need to kind of use the Joy-Con. There you go. Motion control. You can throw him down. So he's very versatile as an attack. But the other thing he can do, which we'll find out a little later, is capture enemies. It's pretty weird to have NPCs in a Super Mario game that are actually voice acted. It's not in English, and it's subtle. But if you listen, you can tell that the person voicing the characters like Peach and Bowser are attempting to say the words that are being subtitled. And it's weird. Like when Bowser was like, "Ah, you jealous, Mario?" I like it, but still a little strange. It is nice to see Nintendo pushing forward with the voice acting in their games, though, because it's long overdue. I've never had a problem with Link being a silent protagonist in the Legend of Zelda franchise, for example. But all the other NPCs not talking really didn't have a reason. There was no benefit to it. So in Breath of the Wild, they added some voice acting, and it was hit or miss for some people, but I liked it. I was very happy with it overall. Knock all these posters off. If you throw and hold the throw button, Cappy will stay where you put him instead of just immediately coming back. That's how you can do rapid hits on a single target. I really like this cutscene. I really don't understand, from a, for lack of a better word, lore standpoint, how Cappy's species of people can cause other organisms to control other organisms. The hat being able to transform into different hats, that's fair enough. It's like a camouflage situation, but this is weird. But it's a Mario game. You don't ever think that stuff. Captured frog. Look at you with the blue eyes and mustache. Oh, I did it again. Every time I come in here, I forget to go get these boxes over here. Can't really do much about them as a frog. So you got, and I can't leave the frog until this capture tutorial's done. You can capture pretty much anything that doesn't have a hat. That's the one underlying requirement to the capture mechanic, is if something has a hat, you have to knock the hat off before you can do anything to it. There are cases where that's not true, like certain really small enemies are just too fragile, so when you hit them with the hat, it just pops them out of existence instead of captures them. Like the little yellow Goombas. I don't know why they're different colored than normal Goombas, but can't capture them. And big, important, powerful monsters you can't capture, like Bowser's little henchmen and stuff. Hearts are health in this. They replaced, you know, the mushroom mechanic. Because now Mario cannot. This expands it to 6 hits, which is nice. That's very much like Galaxy in 64. But in this, Mario doesn't have lives anymore, which, thank God. That was a super outdated mechanic that Nintendo didn't need to keep up. And now it's gone. But sadly, because that mechanic's gone, and because they also got rid of Mario shrinking, you just always Super Mario in this game. You don't get small. Because those are gone, there are no mushrooms in this game so far. I might find out that I'm wrong later, but I'm several hours into the game on my personal profile, and I haven't run into anything mushroom related. Not 1-ups, not super mushrooms. There actually aren't even any powers that I've seen, which could disappoint some long-term Super Mario fans, but at the same time, it's like the Cappy capture mechanic replaces that, essentially. So you don't really lose out completely. And these are the Brutals. If you are at all familiar with the Super Mario franchise, you're probably able to guess that the boss fights themselves are not much of a challenge. It's less about actually fighting the boss and more about figuring out how to fight the boss. So, figure out their weakness, expose it, 3 bops on the head, and the boss is out of commission. Sometimes less, because this is more of a tutorial boss anyway. But that might discourage some players who are looking for a hardcore challenge, but it's Super Mario. Even the most creative bosses in the franchise weren't hard to beat. They only took a couple of hits. It was really just, hey, this is a puzzle. How do you take care of this guy? A lot like the Legend of Zelda franchise. It's kind of Nintendo's signature. This is more about the platforming and running around and exploring and finding power moons and coins and stuff. That looks painful. We can never go back. That line broke. Oh no. Our first power moon. The power moons in this are the equivalent of power stars, or I don't remember, shines, stuff like that. Serve the same purpose. They are the goal for individual objectives in a world, and they unlock more areas. These purple coins are unique to each kingdom. There's a set number of them, and they are used to buy kingdom-specific exclusive items, like decorations for your ship, unique costumes, and stuff like that. I think the game looks really good, especially considering how powerful the Switch is. Game gives you a lot of tips all over the place that you can access, but doesn't really shove tutorials down your throat, which is appreciated. They did something like that with Breath of the Wild, which a lot of people, including myself, were thankful for. Little references all over the place like that. You'll see Cat Peach icons that give you hearts and hidden on walls and graffiti. Chain Chomp, and he doesn't have that, so bam, we can capture the Chain Chomp. And you can use his ability, which is to pull back and wind up. Ah! And this is how we get our first Power Moon. For Mario games, these do not give you 5 extra lives, or 3, whatever the moons did. I think it's 3. In the top left corner, you'll see blank circles. They represent the number of power moons you need to unlock the next stage. There are way more than that in every world, and you can find a lot of them in your first visit, but you physically cannot get all of them right up front. So don't go crazy. You'll need to come back. That's what I'm going to call it for today. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you did like the video, really helps me out. Leave a comment. What are your thoughts on the new Super Mario Odyssey game? Is it good to you? Are you disappointed? Would you prefer something else from the Super Mario franchise? Subscribe to my channel to keep up to date to my upload routine. And follow me on Facebook and Twitter. That's the best way to know when my schedule is shifting, what games are coming up, and I'm going to do contests and giveaways through those once I get enough followers. But for the time being, I'm going to continue doing my best to bring you one of the most honest opinions you can find online, and I will talk to you guys later on. See ya!